What's up, everybody? It's your boy DK Bones here with another video, and it's dispute with Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Netflix. And before I get into the topic um, of who should buy Warner Brothers, I honestly believe or wish Warner Brothers could have held on to its own entity and stay separate from either one of these two. I believe that competition in any kind of field or organization is a good thing. Competition helps build better brands, builds better product, and I think it would be good that if all these shows stayed above board. But with poor management, Warner Brothers didn't make it, and Paramount got bought out by Sundance, didn't make it. Anyways, this article gets into, did Netflix lie to the public about what it really was doing? And it seems like they did with the recent article that came out of Deadline. Um, Basically, them coming out clean, saying, or maybe he slipped out, maybe he knows that the bidding war is over, or they hope it is. But the article gets in, Paramount buying Warner Brothers did Discovery looking more like the right call by the day, and Netflix is proving it. Um, and they get into the topic of during the bidding wars, Netflix tried to calm Hollywood, insisting respectable theaters release. The pitch was simple: don't worry, Warner Brothers movies. And we all remember that they were saying, "Yeah, we're gonna put movies out. We're still gonna do streaming, but we're gonna put X amount of movies out." Well, this article by Deadline came out, and basically the chief Dan Lin says streaming has accepted. It won't work with directors who wanted theatrical release, and there's a number of names in the other article that go into some of the directors that left Netflix and went to the Paramount, Warner Brothers, or some other organizations. But as it says in the article, as Netflix Films chairman Dan Lin says, he wants the streamers to prioritize more on mid-budget fare, which I don't disagree with him. I think a lot of movies are way over budget, and that needs to be cut back by a lot. I think either getting rid of some of the nonsense they have involved, or people that aren't doing their parts, or if you're just overpriced actors, but you need to cut that. But he wanted to avoid working with directors who hold steadfast on theatrical openings, which does mess up because you have a production and you have to promote the movie and everything. As I said in some of my other videos, they try to, there's a lot of into promoting a movie. There's a group of filmmakers who still want theatrical, and those are filmmakers that we accepted, we just won't work with, or they don't want to work with you. He also goes on to say, because I have such a huge slate, my job is very different from other studio chairmen's jobs. The executive producer said, I can't impose my taste on the slate, but I can impose a way of making movies. I can impose on how we want to work with filmmakers. I think people on the outside are pretty clear on what I'm going for, making film someone's favorite movie in a specific genre, focusing on variety and quality, making Netflix the best. So there's a bunch of things in there. It's like he doesn't want to lose. He can't. Netflix is a company that was built on home brand. So anything, first they started off with mail-in DVDs, and everything has to be home. Like, they don't want to lose their subscribers, so they have to make streaming. So that was one of the clues for all of us, knowing that they weren't going to change that. And then during the bidding wars, they were trying to make it convenient for everyone, but they're everything they do is home brand. And I think they were just trying to get that company. They were trying to get those IPs, Batman, Superman, the Harry Potter, New Line Cinema. They were trying to get all that stuff because those are big names, and that would blow freaking Netflix up on streaming. I don't think they ever intended to do what they said they were going to do in the theaters. Here's a number of names that walked away from Netflix. The Duffer Brothers left for Paramount. Joseph Kosinski, F1 Elsewhere over the lack of theatrical play. Emerald Fennell probably passed on bigger Netflix bid for Weather Heights to protect a proper rollout. Zach Krager's The Flood stalled at Netflix over theatrical and landed at Warner Brothers. And even Rhea Johnson, who had to fight the company for a release of Knives Out, the original Knives Out, into theaters, which was a really, really good movie. But yeah, they have a known track record of not doing anything in theaters. And you got, I mean, they're trying to protect their product. They're a streaming organization, and they're not going to change. They're not going to change at all. The article also goes in talking about Paramount and their better argument. But as I said, I wish Paramount or Warner Brothers would have just stayed with by itself. Paramount in their own realm, and Netflix in their own realm. And we forget that Warner Brothers still is a bankrupt company, and Paramount is not that far. I mean, I don't think any of these. I mean, I think Warner Brothers made some profit, but theaters aren't doing as well as they want them to do because we're getting crappy products. And that's the one thing I do agree with the Netflix chairman, is that they want mid-budget fare for movies. That's what they all need to be focusing on instead of these high budget movies. I mean, you do like 1 or 2 high budget movies a year or something, but everything mid-range, which will help pay for the high budget movie, and you can make it better than what they're trying to do. They're trying to do too much in a short amount of time in a year. Like, do 2 high budget movies and then everything else, romance comedies, drama, something that doesn't cost too much. But they also are saying that Netflix is still trying to derail the plan. I think it's a lot of politics, and I'm not going to get all into that messiness of, you got Hollywood types, you got Trump involved, and people are just making a mess of it. Anyways, that is my thought on this. Let me know what you think. Hit in the comments. Hit that like, sub up, hit that notification, and I will talk to you guys next time. Stay blessed.